Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Miradi Share to report on and analyze information in a portfolio of related projects, otherwise known as a program. I'm logged into the system, so it knows who I am. I'm going to select the Bush Heritage program that we used in the last video. I generally find it easier to manage projects in list view rather than grid view, so I'm going to click on Project, and you can see that there are 9 total public projects that are currently listed in this program. As is the case with all Miradi Share tables, I can search the list and narrow down the projects I am looking at. For example, if I type the word reserve in the search box, then we are now looking only at projects that include this word anywhere in the table. You can see in the bottom left that that's 5 out of the total of 9 entries. Similarly, I can also search by adding a word only to one specific column. For example, if I only want to look at publicly accessible projects, I can type public in the project access column. I can also sort the table by clicking on any column heading. In this case, I'm going to sort by date. I can also filter the table by clicking on the filter button at the top left. That will allow me to refine my search further using a number of the fields that you see displayed here. I can also use these buttons to either copy the table to the clipboard or export the information in various formats so that I can analyze it further using Excel or some other database. The Program Reports button shows the current list of cross-project reports that Miradi Share supports. Note that we will be adding additional reports in the coming months. Let's look at what each report does, starting with the Target Summary Report. The Target Summary Report shows a list of all of the targets across the program along with which project they came from, the Summary Target Threat Rating, and the Summary Target Viability Status Rating. Right now this view is only showing the first 5 of the 29 total targets. I can page through additional rows using these controls, or I can change the number of rows per page with this pull down. I can also filter the list to say see only biodiversity conservation target. Let's look at the project threat summary table. This report shows a list of the threats down the left and the projects that they're affecting across the top. This current view of this data provides a great example of the need to standardize the nomenclature across the projects in your program as discussed in the previous video. For example, in the second row you can see that there are 3 projects that identified cats as a threat. The Nardu Hills Reserve also identified cats as a threat, but since they've included a standard classification, Miradi Share treats it as a separate threat. To fix this, the program team should probably include the same standard classification for the other 3 projects with cats as a threat. Today, to clean this up, the team would need to download and open these files in Miradi Desktop to make the edits. In the near future, however, we hope to be able to make these edits directly in the Miradi Share table. If I sort this view by the summary weighted average, we can get a sense of which are the most important threats across the projects in this program, in this case rabbits followed by inappropriate fire regimes. This rating is made using assumed weights for very high, high, medium, and low threat. You can adjust these weights by using the rating weights column or button. The Target Threat Summary Report displays a similar report with threats down the side, but along the top you see each of the target project combinations, thus providing a much more detailed look at these relationships. The Viability Assessment Report shows the viability status of all the targets in the selected program. In this case, I might not want to look at the entire list of targets, but filter it to look only at woodland targets. This view is particularly useful if you want to see what other projects in the program have used for their key ecological attributes, indicators, and indicator ratings. You can also find all of the targets that have a fair viability status. The information button on the far left also gives you more detail about the indicators, the viability ratings, and the measurement information used for any of the rows in the table. Another view of your program is the Goal Objective Assessment Report, which currently shows the progress towards goals and objectives for which indicator data exists. You can search for specific indicators and targets. For example, if I wanted to look for indicators of species richness at the York Gum Woodland target, I can see indicator measurement date, value, trend, source information, and the desired future value. If I click on the eye icon on the far left, I can see details about the past measurements for this indicator. If you click on the chart button, you'll see a time series showing the past measurement values as well as a dot showing the desired future value. The last current program view shows progress towards strategies and activities. This report, as the name implies, allows projects that use the strategy progress ratings feature of Miradi to track how each strategy is being implemented. It's generally easier to view this report in chart form. Here we can see color-coded progress ratings for all of the strategies for each of the projects in the program. Clicking on the project name shows a list of all of the strategies organized by their current progress ratings. Clicking on the color-coded bars will allow you to drill down, and now we're looking at the status of the individual activities. This concludes our tour of the current reporting features for Miradi Share. There are a few things to keep in mind. The first is that program reports really depend on entering data in a standardized fashion across all projects. The second is that we will continue to develop additional filtering and reporting features in the near future, so stay tuned for these.